G'day legends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, and welcome back to Show Us Your Tips for the second last time of 2024 in the home and away season. Anyway, we'll still be doing these through the finals, don't you worry about that, but yeah, look, what a strange weekend of footy we had last week. A lot of upsets. Look, just the 4 tips for me last week, which was enough in the end. Still managed to hold on to equal top of the table in my home league. Give me that money. We got a big 2 weeks of tipping coming up, but to be honest, kind of felt like I was pretty lucky to get those 4 tips. The Swans just getting it done over the Pies there. Isaac Heaney going full beast mode to bring it home for the Swans. Quick shout outs to old mate Break the Pack, who commented on last week's tipping video that the Suns were going to end the Bombers' seasons. And I did reply saying it would warm my heart if they did so. And my God, was my heart warm over the weekend. Fantastic stuff. Great to see. Yeah, look, weird week in sport. We overall, really, Australia finished 4th overall in the Olympics. And all we can talk about is breakdancing. Let me tell you, I reckon I've heard about as much about breakdancing as I care to for a little while. Look, both sides of the argument, you know, she shouldn't have been there. She's, you know, just a privileged white person. And then she's actually a national hero. She got there and she gave it her all and honestly could not care less. Like, it looked ridiculous. And look, I'm now part of the problem because I'm talking about it on the very small platform that I have. But look, the way I look at it, Australia came 4th in the Olympics overall, and all we can talk about is Ray Gunn, which is crazy. I will say this though, if my name was Rachel Gunn, I would go by Ray Gunn too. That is a fantastic name. I gotta give props to that. That is pretty bloody good. But for real, it is crazy how well we did in the Olympics. Given our population, our per capita success was fan-bloody-tastic. The only countries to beat us have been the US, China, and Japan. So the US is about 300 million, Japan is $1.5 billion, and China is $1.5 billion, and Japan is about 125 million. So yes, given that our sleepy little desert island of 25 million people managed to finish 4th in the Olympics, pretty bloody impressive. Get girt or die trying. Yeah, look, I also wanted to shout out to our mates across the ditch. NZ finishing 11th overall, beating Canada, which is a pretty good achievement if you ask me. Canada sitting in 12th. That'll give them something to be sorry about. So yeah, look, crazy week. The Olympics was great. I didn't watch the closing ceremony or the opening ceremony. Apparently everyone's talking about those as well. Feels like the one thing that people aren't talking about in the Olympics is all the sport, which to me is kind of funny because that's, what it's all about. Look, anyways, guys, we're going to get stuck into the tips in just a moment. Before we do, you'll know the drill. Links to the socials just down there in the description of this video. Make sure you go and check those out at your leisure. We got the eBay store there. We got the X. We got the Insta. All that good stuff. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck into the tips. Alright guys, we are kicking things off as we usually do on a Friday night with Essendon taking on the Swans at Marvel Stadium, and my God, both of these teams kind of suck right now, don't they? They are definitely not Hansel, they are definitely not hot right now, and yeah, look, I reckon I've got the Swans here. Surely the Bombers just go belly up from here. It is, seems like it's taken almost the full 24 rounds, but I was right all along about the Bombers. They are average. I'm sorry, Bombers fans. And look, don't worry, I know exactly what it's like supporting a shithouse team at the moment. But I kind of feel like you guys have been struggling through this for the better part of a decade now. So, look, condolences, genuine condolences. As a short-term suffering West Coast fan, it is, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. But, look, don't get me wrong. The Swans are by no means looking like world beaters either. I mean, look, maybe Isaac Heaney is a world beater on his own after that performance in the 4th last week. But, look, just generally, the Swans are going to be such an interesting watch over the next couple of weeks and leading into finals. It is, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can really recapture that form that had them the runaway favourites to win the flag at the midpoint of the year. Look, the Bombers are much better at home, but I guess we probably said that last week before the Gold Coast game, and look how that turned out. So, look, I'm going to have the Swans here. I got them by about 4 goals. We're going to lock that in there. A little bit more than I think other people think, but I think they recapture a little bit of that mojo. All right, and now we're going to move on to the first game on a Saturday morning where we've got the Suns taking on the D's down at People's First Stadium. Mate, Hallelujah. The Suns won a game away from home. Fantastic. How good was seeing Mac Andrew kick a goal after the siren to win that game? You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Funnily enough, this week he faces Melbourne, the team that could have had him if next year's new academy rules had been in place when he was drafted. He would be a Melbourne player, but not to be. Look, the D's, look, Jerry's, they won the contested ball by 30 last week. They kept their opponent to 53 points. And somehow lost the game. Incredible scenes indeed. But look, to be honest, the D's are kind of a big hot mess at the moment. Look, Christian Petrarca seems to have had enough. Alex Neil-Bullen wants out. Even Jack Viney is entertaining talks from North Melbourne. Don't know what the fuck is going on with the D's at the moment, but look, I think the Suns get the job done here relatively easily at home. Look, the D's have been loath to travel this year, losing 5 of their 7 games outside of Melbourne for the year. And I tell you what, when you say that out loud, 7 games, soon to be 8, but 8 games outside of Melbourne for the year. That means they're playing 2/3 of their games at their home, which, to be honest, kind of, I guess, makes sense. Maybe it doesn't sound as bad when you actually think about it. Like, it's 50-50 for us. It's 2/3, 1/3 for them. I don't know. But look, that is just what it is. Doesn't sound right to me, but hey, not going to matter this week because I've got the Suns by 5 goals. We're going to lock that in there. All right, moving on to the next game. Now, this is going to be a huge game. We've got the Giants taking on the Dockers at Sydney Showgrounds. What is the name of that actual stadium? It's just Showgrounds, isn't it? Anyways, look, Freo let one slip at home last week, which not only dented their top 4 chances, but look, with GWS this week and Port next week, whew, Freo definitely have to win one of their next 2 games to make the finals, and I mean, at least, preferably they'd win 2 from their point of view, but look, the silver lining to all of this is that Freo fans are going to be forced into barracking for the slime this week when we take on the Blues at Optus. Look, Giants, on the other hand, big win last week against the Lions up at the Gabatoir. I didn't actually see any of this game, but I tell you what, it looks like GWS are finding form at the exact right time of year. Look, I think they get it done up in Sydney, but look, this is going to be a great game of footy. I'm hoping I can catch the replay for this after work on Saturday, and it really looms as a big, like, shaper of the top 8 kind of game. I've got the Giants by about 9 points. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think they're going to just be able to get over the line at home. And speaking of good games, this is going to be an absolute cracker as well. We've got Collingwood hosting the Lions at the MCG. The Lions are going to be looking to bounce back after the aforementioned loss to the Giants last week. Look, Collingwood are still right in the hunt for the 8 and could be another team who are going to be barracking for West Coast on Sunday. So look, we should be in for a really good contest here. Pies with the home ground advantage, but I think Brizzy with that added motivation of maybe wanting to be the ones to end the Pies seasons after they did it to them in the grand final last year. Who knows? But either way, look, both teams still have everything to play for here. I think I've got to go with the Lions. Look, a little blip on the radar last week, but they are still definitely one of the form sides of the competition. And whilst Collingwood have sort of been a little bit up and down, I don't know, can't see it happening. So look, I've got the Giants here by about 3 goals. We'll lock them in there by 16 points and move on to the next game where we have got St Kilda hosting the Cats down at Marvel Stadium. And I tell you what, this has got Snooze Fest written all over it, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm just assuming the Cats get their job done here. Not really much to talk about. I don't know. Look, Marshall is probably going to be a huge factor in this one and have a massive game against the lesser light Rucks at the Cats. Should be a great game for fantasy, but to be honest, as a neutral, I'm really finding it hard to get excited about this one. Cats should win and win well, but you know, who knows? This season, I would not be surprised if this was one of the big upsets of the round. I'm not going to tip it though. I'm locking in the Cats by 6 goals, and yeah. 34 points, 6 goals, the same thing. And tell you what, moving on to one where it is not going to be a snooze fest, we have got the showdown at Adelaide Oval. And I tell you what, if you'd asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have sent Port by about 6 to 10 goals. But look, to be honest, I caught some of the Crows game on Sunday afternoon, probably about the last quarter and a half, and they looked pretty bloody good. They looked a lot better anyway. They looked a lot more like the team that narrowly missed out on the 8 last year. In saying that, the Dogs were pretty shit house, but look, you can only beat what is put in front of you. Look, it was also really great to see Dan Curtin come in that last quarter and have a really good quarter of footy when Nixie finally got him on the ground. Anyway, look, in saying that, Port have also been very good for the last month, winning their last 4 games and winning them pretty well, to be honest. Look, I think this is one of two games this round which would be worth having a look at for an upset. If you're one of those people who do like to tip an upset every week, I will be waiting for the second of those games, and I'll be locking in Port by about 2 goals. I think this is going to be a really good game to watch, to be honest. And that's going to do us for Saturday footy. We're going to roll on to the Sunday games now. And the first one of those is definitely not the second of those 2 games that I'm thinking about tipping an upset in, let me tell you. But we've got the Dogs taking on the Roos down at Marvel again. Look, the Dogs are going to be out for redemption after that shithouse performance against the Crows last week. And look, what happened last week to the Roos? They lost to West Coast in Tassie. Lols. For real though, like, how did they let that game slip? We had no right to win it, but look, we got the job done in the end. Was it a West Coast masterstroke or was it a Kangaroos capitulation? I'll leave that for you to decide, but look, I think the Dogs do it and do it pretty well here. I got the Dogs by about 8 goals, so we're gonna lock that in here. Yeah, close enough again. Look, margins, you know, I'm not really too fussed on margins. You know what I'm talking about. Moving on to the second last game of the round here, and we have got the Hawks taking on the Tigers at the MCG. The Hawks are going to make finals after starting 0-5, which is incredible. Not only is it incredible that they're doing that, but to me, I find it all the more impressive that they've done it as a developing team, not like an underperforming one. For instance, Brisbane, what were they, like 2-6 or 5-1 or whatever they were? You know, they were an underperforming team who found their mojo and, you know, steamrolled the rest of the season. Whereas for me, Hawthorn were always a developing team this year, and the fact that we've seen them make that development in front of our very eyes this year has been it's a great story. Look, it's a great story, and they are looking pretty good. I think they're going to absolutely smash the Tigers here. To be honest, with the way that Hawthorn play, I think this one is going to get pretty gross for Richmond fans. And look, to be honest, I will not be hurrying home to watch this one with Mrs. Mac after work on Sunday. I got the Hawks by about 10 goals. To be honest, I think that is exactly how it's going to go down. We're going to lock them in there by 60 points. And we are going to move on to the last game of the round. We have got West Coast hosting the Blues at Optus Stadium, and mark my words, we are going to fucking roll the Blues this week. It's just going to happen. It is going to happen. The vibe is in shambles at Carlton. And look, at this stage, they're going to have 6, possibly 7 forced changes rolling into this game, including their 2 spearheads, Charlie Curnow and Harry McKay. Look, is this the most relevant West Coast has been all year? I mean, Hawks, Dogs, Freo, and Collingwood supporters are all going to be tuning into this one, hoping West Coast can ruin Carlton's year. And I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to bloody do it. And I honestly cannot believe I'm about to say this, but I am tipping the West Coast fucking Eagles by 3 goals to just sink the dagger into Blues fans. Look, sorry, Blues fans. Look, obviously, you know, like, it's outside of your guys' control. Like, I know what it's like to have a team that's been absolutely knackered with injuries, and unfortunately for Carlton, it's come in a year where they're right in the window and we're making a pretty good tilt towards a flag. But yep, nah, not going to be. Not going to be, and I think we'll be making some people happy this week by beating the Blues. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the second last time of the home and away season. Show us your tips. Look, 1 more week to go, then we get a week off, and then it's finals. I'm very excited for finals footy. Again, like, don't have to worry about tipping comps, don't have to worry about fantasy, and the quality of football is just fantastic. So, very much looking forward to the finals. Let's bloody go. Now, look, that's going to do us for today. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget, if you're liking the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and get involved in the comments. And yeah, we will see you in the next one.